In episode 7, as Luke and Tim look over what's on the flash drive, they are appalled. I mean, they're shocked because what it is Maureen showing what goes on in back half, the fact that these kids are never going to go home. It's a lot for both Tim and the Chief to take in. After seeing the video, that's when Luke tells the Chief his story, and that's a whole lot for the Chief to take in. But all Luke cares about is the fact that his friends are still stuck in the Institute while they sit on their hands processing what they just saw or heard. Completely unaware of the fact, mind you, that Sigsbee and a team dressed as FBI agents are headed to their location thanks to the fact they were tipped off. The Chief, though, knows he needs to do something, so he stands up, he puts the flash drive in his pocket, and he tells Tim, we got to head to Portland. And I know the Chief there, he's a good guy, he's solid as a rock, he'll know what to do and how to handle this situation. And as he's telling Tim this, Drew walks in, wanting an update. The Chief just tells him, hey, you're in charge, and Drew isn't ready for that. He's a little perplexed. And really what he is worried that he's not up for task if something dangerous actually happens because of what happened at the gas station. He wasn't ready. But the Chief doesn't really care. He reiterates to Drew, dude, you're in charge. Just handle it. And that's when all of a sudden Drew pulls out a gun and shoots the Chief dead. Because Drew is in the pockets of the Institute. It's not like he wanted to kill the Chief. He's known him for years, but it had to come to that. And Tim and Luke are shocked at this. They have their hands up. They don't want to be next. At first, Tim tries to talk to Drew, but Drew says, dude, I've known that guy for like 20 years. I've known you for 20 days. So you're going to do as you're told. And that's when Tim realizes, yeah, no, I'm going to have to do as I'm told, which is to handcuff himself to a bench, Luke to the bench, and just wait for Sigsbee and the team from the Institute to arrive. In the meantime, Drew has to take care of this body. He can't just leave it lying there. So he starts trying to clean up the scene a little bit, trying to drag the Chief into another room so that the body isn't just out there. As he's doing this, though, both Tim and Luke realize that time is not on their side. I mean, if Drew knew about the fact that they were there, then people from the Institute are likely headed there and they need to escape ASAP, but it's going to be a lot easier said than done. Their only hope is a paper clip on the desk, but Tim can't reach it. And he asks Luke, dude, I need you to focus and try to use your powers to get that thing over here. And at first, Luke doesn't think he's going to be able to, but he really focuses. He's able to knock the paperclip down. Tim is able to grab it with his foot, drag it over, get it, and free both of them. So by the time Sigsbee does show up, they're long gone, and Drew has no idea what happened to his prisoners. I guess his biggest fear of not being ready for this is realized again. This has Sigsbee pretty stressed out. She knows what will happen if this manhunt continues and the powers that be find out that a kid escaped. It's going to come down on all of them. And by coming down, I mean they're probably going to lose their lives. So it's of the utmost importance that they get on the road and track down both Tim and Luke. And Tim, needing an ally, headed to a place close by where he knew he would find a friendly face, and that's the gas station. Mr. DeBiro is on the mend, but he's also behind the desk of the gas station, manning it as he normally would, and he's pumped to see Tim. I mean, he's always going to have a soft spot for Tim after Tim literally saved his life, but he quickly realizes something is not right. Looking at Tim's face, looking at Luke's face, he knows that they didn't just pop in to see how he's doing. And they tell him, yeah, no, we need your help. As they're asking DeBira for a phone or even a car, they see Sigsbee pull up at the gas station, and they know they need to find a hiding place immediately. DeBira obliges. He's got the perfect spot in his back room. It's a hatch that when he lifts it up, there's plenty of space, and he covers it with a carpet. A few minutes later, Sigsbee walks in with that fake FBI jacket, and she tells DeBira that she's looking for Tim, but she's looking for him for kidnapping, that he's a wanted felon, that he's dangerous. Meanwhile, she's got her people searching the property for Luke, going places that they're not supposed to go, but, I mean, they have the proper jacket after all. And in this moment, DeBira could end up turning his back on Tim. I mean, these allegations are damning, but he doesn't. He tells Sigsbee, oh yeah, you know what? They went that way. He gives him a description of a car they weren't driving, and he gets them on the road, and he gets Tim and Luke a few more minutes to figure out their next move. He does one better, though. He also gives Tim his shotgun with shells so that they can protect themselves. While Tim and Luke figure out their next move back at the Institute, Stackhouse and Hendricks have pivoted all their attention to Avery. It was really Stackhouse pressuring Hendricks. He tells him, I've got the keyhole in 2 hours. I need you to rush Avery through the system. Put him in the tank, do whatever you have to do, but get him ready. So he puts Avery in that deprivation tank, the same one that Luke was in. Only a weird thing happens. As Avery is struggling to breathe, Luke, on the outside, can sense that something's going on. It's like he's tapped into Avery. And then, something that Dr. Hendricks has never seen before happens. Avery literally destroys the tank. He is that powerful. And it's something that Dr. Hendricks had warned Stackhouse about, Avery's power. Even though Avery is passed out with cuts all over his face, Dr. Hendricks shuffles him to back half for that night's sparkler ceremony, which, again, is about 2 hours, and he tells Stackhouse the exciting news about what happened. And Stackhouse isn't happy about the fact the deprivation tank was destroyed, but Hendricks lets him know, no, you don't understand. He is so powerful. He can power the hum indefinitely. Now, it's not like Dr. Hendricks isn't worried about Avery. He refers to him as a ticking time bomb, but again, they need him because of that keyhole ceremony. So they send him to the back half where he is once again linked up with Kalisha and Nikki, but this time Kalisha is looking more like Irish. She's looking like a zombie. Both Nikki and Avery start talking to Kalisha telepathically, joining hands to do so, trying to get in touch with her, and finally it does work. She does snap out of this stupor. She's excited to see Avery. And then all three of them start talking about what happened with Luke. And Avery lets the group know that he can feel Luke sometimes. He's strong enough to sense it, but Luke isn't strong enough to talk back to him just yet. He also tells them that he knows that he's strong. He's stronger than they know. Stronger than Dr. Hendricks knows. He's strong enough to do something, and he has the pieces to do something. He just doesn't know how to put those pieces together yet. He needs Luke. Now, at this point, Luke has felt Avery, just like Avery has felt Luke, which is putting even more pressure on Luke to get back to the Institute and find his friends. But in the meantime, they also need to find an ally, and Tim takes Luke to Wendy's place. Now, Wendy's getting ready for work. And just like the Chief, it's a lot for Wendy to take in. I mean, at first, she doesn't believe any of it. But Luke is actually the one that seems to convince her by asking her, come on, I mean, all the cell phone towers are out? Who do you think did that? And she does have to admit, yeah, I went to go check them out. They looked fine. As they're trying to truly convince Wendy that they are not crazy, that everything they said is true, that Drew did in fact kill the Chief, they get a knock at the door, and it just so happens to be Drew. But it's Drew with Sigsbee. Wendy ushers both Tim and Luke into a closet to hide. She answers the door. She acts like she has no idea why Drew is there. She starts questioning who Sigsbee is because Sigsbee just lets herself in. And that's when Drew tells her that they're looking for Tim because Tim is actually the one who killed the Chief. This goes on and on for a little bit with Sigsbee doing the same thing she did at the gas station, only this time she ditched her team. So it really is just her searching the house for both Tim and Luke, as Drew is kind of doing the same thing. But it gets to a point where they corner Wendy and they notice that she is protecting the closet where Tim and Luke are hiding. And eventually, Drew goes to open it. When he does, he's got a shotgun pointed at his face from Tim. Immediately, Luke tells Tim, oh, yeah, that's her. That's the one I was telling you about, Sigsbee. And as Tim has a gun pointed at Drew, Wendy starts trying to talk everybody down to go in the living room and just have a conversation. Wendy goes to disarm Drew, but when she does, Drew grabs her, and Tim instinctively shoots Drew. Drew shoots back. He does hit Tim in the shoulder, but Tim's shot is fatal. And immediately, Tim just turns his gun right towards Sigsbee and says, give me a reason, please, I'm begging you. Wendy, however, is pretty shook. I mean, she's known Drew for a while, and now Drew is dead in her living room. It doesn't matter if he was the bad guy in this situation. It's a lot for her to handle. As Wendy is trying to process all of this, Sigsbee tells Tim, you're really going to believe the kid? I mean, come on. And that's when they let her know, oh, yeah, Maureen made a tape. Yeah, your little act is done. And even though they don't have the videotape on them, Sigsbee knows that she can't get out of this one. Wendy then gets up and starts patching Tim up, and Sigsbee comes clean on why they do the things they do. Because what Luke figures is that they get these kids to commit the perfect crime for them. There's no witnesses, there's no fingerprints. They tap into somebody, they do the bidding of God knows who, and then once the kids are done, they just end up getting cremated. But Sigsbee drops a bombshell. She tells the group, the reason we do this is to save the world. She talks about that small plane crash with the senator recently, the one that Annie was talking about. And she says, yeah, that guy, in about 9 years from now, he's the Secretary of Defense. He then will have a break with reality. He'll convince the president to hit North Korea with limited nuclear strikes. But the problem is the missiles will fly over Russian airspace. Their technology is outdated. They'll have to instinctively act, and they will fire their nukes at us, and everybody dies. That's why we do what we do. Yes, a few kids die, but we are quite literally saving humanity. We're saving the world. It's for the greater good. And Tim doesn't believe it, but Sigsbee looks at Luke and says, come on, you can read my mind. Am I lying? And Luke has to admit, no, she's not lying. Tim points out that doesn't prove she's not lying. It proves that she believes the story she's telling. He wonders aloud, why doesn't Sigsbee and this team just do it all out in the open? But she says, come on, I mean, you know the risk. I mean, you shot a child in Boston to prevent a massacre. If you walk out of here with Luke Ellis, you're putting the entire world on suicide watch.
Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.